Hey everyone, Muslim Gaming here. Today I'll be ranking the TF2 characters based on how Islamic they'd be. You guys have probably watched a video of if you can play TF2 without breaking the rules of Islam. And the answer is yes, because it's just some video game. But he was obviously referring to the actual in-game events. And with that, the answer is no. You're involved in some blood feud between Redmond and Blue Tark Man, who didn't want to share the land they inherited, so they seek to rob each other. It doesn't matter if you don't use the sandwich and say Bismillah or Allahu Akbar. That doesn't matter. So the events of TF2, they are not halal events. Anyways, on to ranking each character based on how good of a Muslim they'd be if they were to convert to Islam. The first character we'll be ranking is Scout. His vices are that he's egotistical, somewhat violent, and is promiscuous with women. Going out here, offering them buckets of chicken and stuff for sex. But his virtues are that he does care about his team and does want to have a legitimate halal relationship with Miss Pauling. I would put him at average tier, but in the TF2 comics, it was revealed that Allah put him on Earth as a blessing towards women. Obviously, Allah would know more than I do. He knows something I don't about Scout, so I'll put him in Great Muslim. I can't argue with Allah on the Scout. The soldier, his un-Islamic vices are that he's a violent, insane jingoist who booked a flight to Germany after World War II and killed a bunch of people. His rampage was only stopped when he was told that the war ended years ago. In any context, you want to keep this guy under strict watch and give him clear instructions. With war, Islam is pretty strict with the laws of warfare. No torture, no killing prisoners, you can't cut off water supplies. I don't know if the soldier would even want to follow all of these. A lot of soldiers' issues, I have to take into account that he is insane. So I'll put him in bad Muslim tier. The Pyro, he doesn't get a score. He's so insane he doesn't know what room he's in. I get in the TF2 comics he was somehow a successful CEO, but this seems to just be cartoon logic, and the TF2 universe, it seems as if it's really easy to become a millionaire CEO, so yeah, he doesn't get a score. Next we have the Demo Man. Obviously his vices are that he's an insane drunken man. His virtues are that he's a pretty dependable person, sensible, loves his family. But this graph is taking into account like how they'd be if they'd convert to Islam, and oftentimes Muslim converts, they have to sort of wean themselves off of intoxicants, and going cold turkey, it might be too much for them and it might burn them out of Islam. So you wouldn't want them to just go cold turkey just yet, depending on the situation. So because of that, I'm putting the Demo Man in good Muslim tier. He's a sensible person when he's sober. He's a good guy when he's sober. So he'll go in good Muslim tier. The Heavy's vices are I don't know. I guess he's violent. I don't know. You see that he loves his family and works hard for them. His sandwich does have ham in it, but you don't get addicted to ham. So I'll put the Heavy in great Muslim tier. He seems to be a good guy. The engineer's vices are he seems to be pretty apathetic. You see that in Meet the Engineer, his machines are killing people around him, but he's sitting there peacefully playing his guitar. He can get pretty violent in that he threatened to break an old man in half because he grabbed him by his shirt. I get that Plutarch is a real piece of work, but that was crazy of him nonetheless. His virtues are that he puts his intellect to constructive use and, can be a pretty hospitable, respectful guy. But he does stay in the background a lot in the comics. He's a very neutral character. Even though he does have layers to him. Very neutral. Average Muslim. The sniper, he's an average Joe as well. I guess he cares about what his parents think of him. He doesn't want his parents to think that he's some insane gunman. So I'll put him in average Muslim tier. The medic, he makes these crazy deals with the devils and does his insane experiments. Even running off with someone's skeleton. You see him ranting about that in Meet the Medic. Yeah, his virtues are that he, I guess, can be amicable and I guess funny. I don't know. Atrocious Muslims here. That is crazy work. And he's not. I don't know. And he is like aware of his surroundings, most definitely. So you have to hold him fully accountable to that. The spy smokes a lot. Is promiscuous, and like a lot of these other mercenaries, works for the Team Fortress Industries. I guess he does care about his team, especially the scout. He'd often act as a team leader with things. I would put him at good Muslim, but from the vibe I get from him, he'd really be an average Muslim. So I'll put him as that. That goes the 9 TF2 mercenaries. The administrator, I haven't read the comics in a while, but from what I remember, she tried ruining the friendship between the Blue Soldier and the Red Demo Man. Along with that, her motives are completely self-interested and she doesn't really care about anyone. She would be an atrocious Muslim. And that's just the fact of the matter. Miss Pauling. From what we see, she's loyal to the administrator. That's her defining characteristics. Her defining characteristic. Other than that, we don't really get like all that much else about her character. The writers did say she's a lesbian. So with that, we can infer that Miss Pauling, instead of wanting to marry the Adonis known as Scout, instead of marrying a man sent by God as a blessing to women, she'd rather eat out the administrator's dry, dusty hole. I get that this is just Valve cock-blocking us Scout mains. But we still have to take that interference into account. Miss Pauling would be a bad Muslim. Homosexuality is haram. Zana, from what I remember, she's a crazy Russian lady. Her vices are that she's fine with running around naked. Her virtues are that she wants to get married and is a loyal wife. So I will be putting Zana in good Muslim tier. Gray Man created a robot army to take over the world. Atrocious Muslim. The Mann brothers, atrocious Muslim. They have their shitty little blood feud. I don't have to explain it. Saxton Hale, this big CEO guy, he pursues his own projects, doesn't seek to help or harm others. Yeah, he'd be an average Muslim. So yeah, this is a TF2 the TF2 Islamic graph. You see kind of a bell curve leaning towards more questionable characters. But yeah, these are the halal characters right here, I guess. Thank you for watching. Muslim Gaming signing off.